Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Hey, another Thursday night. Welcome to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. I am Chris.
Hi, good evening. I'm Nina. Nice to see you again.
Yes, welcome back. How are you doing? How was your week?
It was amazing. Thank you for asking. How was yours?
It was really rainy. I don't know why we're having so much rain. Wow.
So much rain it is. I don't like the rain at all. I always say I even prefer to have snow, but the rain is the rain, and we got to watch our homes, and we got to get some cleanups done and ensure that those gutters are clean for all our homes and properties that we're selling. We better be on top of our game when it rains, when it pours, this way nonetheless.
Yeah.
So
also, my daughter's back in track, so I'm back at the work track hustle.
Full-blown schedule?
Even in the rain, though they canceled the first meet, but there's going to be plenty more.
Okay.
And how are your children?
So full-blown schedule is good, always good. It's I have a lot of people asking me how the market is going and what I feel the market, where I feel the market is going, and it's really, really great, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's amazing. If a house is priced right, it flies out the window, and if a house is priced right and we go for an open house, we have people lying down the block because there are no homes. We're still in a shortage of inventory.
Yes. And I think we're going to kind of be in a shortage for a while. What do you think?
Yes, because one leads to another. If you're going to sell, what are you going to buy? And if you're going to look, you're not going to have that many options. So you want to you want to hold on to what you have unless you really have to sell. So that's why people don't sell if they really, really don't have to. Those who are moving are selling, but it's all great and all, but they're not selling, like I said, unless they have to.
Well, what I'm noticing more now than ever before is that the banks are keeping properties and collecting rents.
Okay.
And even renovating instead of giving or selling the properties to investors. They're keeping more of their inventory. Have you noticed that?
So the banks are definitely getting smarter. They're not letting go of the deals as easily as they used to. They come to the realization that, okay, so people try to negotiate and then they flip them and they make enormous amount of money. Now that's back in the 2015 to 2020. They see the history and they think that they're still going to be making the same in this market when everything tripled in terms of the cost. So unfortunately, they're going to see the hit a little later in the game.
Well, everything in this city, prices are going up, taxes are going up.
Everything is so expensive.
There's a shortage of homes, and now we're going to have to deal with this. Don, play the video.
This shit is crazy. Right here on Park Avenue. Oh my God, Park 60 is a fucking cold. That's crazy.
Wow. So, for those of you who couldn't see the video, on 60th Street in Manhattan, if you want to go below 60th Street, you will be charged. You would have to have Easy Pass, or even if they can take a picture of your license plate, they will be billing you a fee.
How much?
That I don't know yet. I believe it's starting in March. I don't know how much they're going to charge, but they're
starting in March. So it's there, but it's not functional.
No. It's
Okay.
kind of like when they built the Easy Pass, and they were building it before, and it just like got rid of the toll booth clerks and everything, and they made the transition. And so the only good thing is like maybe they'll give you a discount if you have Easy Pass. I don't know. That's how it was in the beginning, but that's how they get you in, and then they pull the rug from underneath you, and you start paying crazy prices to go over these bridges and tunnels.
Everything is so expensive though in terms of cost of living.
Yeah.
In general, it's becoming really way out of proportion, and people are taking advantage. Even if their wholesale prices don't change, they take advantage of the inflation, and then they just stick to the same numbers and flip us food.
Yeah. And if you're an agent or a broker and you have to manage your properties or your listings in Manhattan, you're going to add that fee to your accumulation of debt until you sell the property.
That is so crazy.
And then imagine if you don't sell it. Like, you paid all this money going back. Remember we had we was dealing with a hotel in the city. We were going back and forth. We had somebody was interested, and then and I'm like, man, I paid all these tolls and fees and it didn't sell. The guy didn't buy.
But you know what drives me crazy is the fact that they say that if the fuel, okay, the gas, if the gas prices are going down, then things are supposed to be staying low.
Right.
And now that the gas is low, the prices are still going up.
It's not really low.
So you could tell by that they're taking advantage of the system.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to be that way. But then who am I to say anything, or you or us as a whole? What are you going to do? You're a necessity of an item. You're going to go and buy it right away because we have no other choice. And that's the downside, because they are taking advantage of us.
Now, would you buy an electric car?
I don't know, because I know me for sure. I'm going to get stuck.
You don't see yourself charging your car?
At least once or twice
or
a week.
Forgetting to charge it?
I would get stuck for sure.
I would buy an electric car. I had a Prius when it first came out.
You did?
Yeah. It was really cool.
And what? Then you switched back to gasoline?
Yeah, because it's small. It's a
That's
small
funny.
car, and it was just not really comfortable. But every time I drove it, people asked me a lot of questions like, because it was new. So every time, I would park to get gas, or you still need gas? I'm like, yeah, it's a hybrid, but it uses gas.
Wow.
So I had either the first generation or the second generation.
Wow. But wait, why did you switch back?
It's uncomfortable.
In what way?
Sitting in it, getting out of it, getting in it. Like saving money was great. I think I drove to Virginia Beach. Yeah, it was really good.
So it was saving money for you.
Yeah. And parking. Man, you saw all that traffic that we just showed in the video going to 60. Man, I found parking everywhere because that little thing fits in so many spots, right? But I went back to a full size car though.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting. No, so to answer your question, I wouldn't go for an electric car. Not that belittling any type of.
So no Tesla for you?
No.
Oh.
All in all, I don't like low cars. I like,
No,
high Jeeps.
Yeah, but you like those monster trucks. I forgot who I'm talking to. Yeah.
I used to drive a pickup truck.
I'm sure you do. And you still have one.
Not a pickup truck. 2006 until 2008.
I could picture you with a Hummer.
I never had a Hummer, but
I can picture
I
you.
was in one.
Just smile on your face was like you probably were real close to getting one, right?
I had to drive the pickup truck because back in the day, long story short, he couldn't drive, so I had to drive him. So I drove for 2 years. It was beautiful.
Wait. Who's he?
My significant other.
Oh, okay. No talk on him. No talk on him. Anyway, yeah, I'm not buying no Tesla. I wanted to until I found out who the owner is. So I don't like Tesla or that X stuff that he's on.
Why?
But,
Someone also said no to
Shone,
Tesla. Why? I mean,
I like
have
them,
nothing
though.
against it. Yeah, no.
like
So we
them.
have
I just don't like the owner.
2 or 3 people in the office who drive Teslas, and I think they are, yes, they save a lot and they're comfortable. It's just for me, it doesn't work. And then the side doors that open this way, you're not a Lamborghini, bro.
Yeah. So I had
DJ.
one over the weekend. Very bad experience. Dr. Su Young.
Dr. Su Young.
Dr. Su Young.
Who?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I heard good things, but not for me.
But back to real estate. Now, I've seen some crazy properties. This next video, I want you guys just take a look at this. Don, play the next one.
This mysterious shack appeared on top of a cliffside in California, and no one knows how it was built or who lives there. You see, the 3-story shack was built on top of a cliff called Devil's Slide, and it was first spotted by a drone in December of 2022. However, some locals claim that the shack has been around for the past 10 years and that a hermit lives in it. Regardless though, this thing is absolutely insane. Not only is it 3 stories, but it has rooms, stairs, and even a dining area. But despite this, no one has a clue how the person possibly managed to bring the material down there and build the structure, all while being unnoticed for possibly years. And some authorities claim that they were aware that the structure was there, but they figured that whoever lived there probably wanted to be left alone, and they respected their desire for extreme solitude, so they didn't do any investigation. However, it's sad to say that recent images reveal that the shack was destroyed by storms, and I guess we'll never know who was really behind it. So the question is, how do you think this thing was built?
Wow, that was, that makes me think of the pyramids, right? You ever wonder, like, there was no technology, there was no trucks, there was no, how did they build pyramids, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at this guy.
They didn't have iPhones.
Yes, they didn't have iPhones. They didn't have forklifts. They didn't, I'm like, how did they even get the recipe for concrete to put, like this is what, hundreds of years ago, but they built the pyramids off the back of one another. It's amazing, right?
Yep.
But that shack, right? The guy had a waterfront property. I wonder if there was even an address. You know what I mean? Like, did they use a drone to give him his mail? Like, how?
How did they even reach that point to even find him?
And who, he had to have a crew put that together, right? Like, you can't tell me that was one man that put that shack together. 3 stories? If it was destroyed
this easily, then probably it's a one-man show.
Yeah, he probably used bubble gum to put to stick it together, right?
Yeah, freezing in the wintertime.
Sure. But California, there's no winter. Right? The weather in California, it's the same all year round. So maybe in the morning, you know what I mean? But if he put that shack together, he probably had solar blankets.
But yeah, a lot of those tents are out there in the deserts as well in Israel, and they get a lot of sandstorms. Yeah, I don't know how they live through that, but they're definitely out there for sure.
All I know is whoever was doing that probably had a career and probably would be good at creating some infrastructure somewhere, and shouldn't be homeless, right? Should not be living on a rock.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of building, the building department in New York City recently passed a law that you have to extra monitor. So they have an objection for a fire hazard. That if you now want, in addition to the sprinkler system that you used to need through a specific amount of family size, now they make you have a sprinkler in almost everything before they give any approval. But the fire hazard or whatever / reconstruction, they have to have you fireproof the building.
Wow.
And it used to be only between the floors to specific amount family numbers.
Mm.
So now they made it even crazier. Again, I'm sure that it's not only because of money, it's for safety. I get it.
Yeah.
But then it's almost not worth buying anything if you have to go through that.
Well, with the shelters, they changed for all the illegals that are here. I think it's only 60 days now they can stay in the shelter. And I'm like, man, it's about to get cold. Where are these people going to find heat? Now we're going to see more fires, people burning fires in trash cans or just to stay warm. It's going to be interesting this winter to see, because we keep getting more and more and more people coming to New York. And it's so sad because it's not just adults, it's kids, it's teenagers, and it's not there's no easy solution. I understand why it's only 60 days. I understand there's a reason why, and it makes sense, but it's just, I just wonder what else we can do. Like, what do you think?
You're talking about 60 days of immigrants, or
no, 60 days
of just shelter?
They could stay in the shelter for 60 days. After 60 days, they have to go.
So wait.
I know, right? I know.
So
I know where you're
they
going.
give you a limitation of stay when you're an American citizen asking for help, just seeking any type of any housing, kids, no kids whatsoever, and they give you a limit of 60 days while you have the immigrants getting all these, things happening for them, and with a no limit amount of time.
Yeah.
Where they build for you an endless amount of place. That's just so beautiful. What in the world we live in?
Now, if you luck up and get up in somebody's house and they don't know you're there and you're there for 30 days, guess how long you get to stay in that house? Can you tell them, Nina? Let them know.
Wait, I didn't hear it was 30. I thought it was 59 days.
No.
A day before 60.
No,
now it's 60?
No, if you live 30 days in a place
someone's house,
and you get mail, right? That's the catchy part. And you get mail to show that you're a resident in this location. How long do you have to stay in there and pay no rent?
How long?
Years.
Whoa.
Years. Am I wrong?
So I've heard this before. And the reason for that is probably the court system.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very disappointing. And that's why people want to sell. That's why people are getting out of New York. And almost every listing appointment that we go to, people are leaving New York. They're not even looking to have a replacement property. Yesterday, I was on Claremont Avenue, and I was talking to a few homeowners, and that was pretty sad. They're leaving New York, and I'm of course offering them a replacement property to move, to downsize, to replace it to a different, maybe they get more for their money. Zero. They want out. Out. I mean, I don't blame them, but then if we're all gonna give up and move, where are we gonna get to? We need to fight and show presence. And
see, here's the thing about being a homeowner, right? Everybody's on a different side of the spectrum, right? You have somebody new that has the energy to fight, that has the energy to keep their property, that has the energy to renovate, make changes, and go with the grind. And then you have someone that's a veteran, that's been doing it for a while, that's been in home ownership, that's been through the ringer, and they're ready to go. They just had enough of the dealing with the tenants, dealing with the maintenance. One of the challenges of people affording properties isn't just about the mortgage or the rates or the taxes. The price to constantly fix your home. When you have a tenant and they come and they beat the crap out of your home, and then you have to get them out, then clean it up, and then find the next tenant.
If you can even get them out.
Yeah, if you can even get them out, it's just exhausting.
Yesterday, I was at a home with 4 different people who rented rooms from the homeowner, and they've been there for years, and they got upset that we came and said, dude, house is being sold. You're getting 90-day notice. I just came in person. I wanted to let you know. You know, this, then, and the third. Let me know if you need any help, and how's your credit, and blah blah blah. They got so mad. Oh, we've been here for 17 years.
Mhm.
This one is 11 years. How could she do this to us? Excuse me. Are you on the deed?
I'm like, what?
Last I checked, you weren't on the mortgage. Are you paying the
Yeah.
mortgage?
What property did you buy?
Yeah, so it's not like I'm telling you to get out tomorrow. So people have no manners, and then they thought they thought I left the property, but I really went to the top floor. Then I see them come up to my homeowner's level, and they're talking to her about paying them money to move. Seriously?
Mm-hmm. That's how it is.
Seriously?
Because when you have people that know their power, when they know that you can't just get them out tomorrow, it's a problem.
Yeah, but like no one is kicking you out. Like we're giving you a 90-day notice. We're offering you help, showing you where to go and get your voucher in case you need one. Telling you, we'll help you, show me your credit, let me get you a place. Guiding you, helping you with moving expenses, helping you physically to move. No, nothing is good enough. And then, oh, you need to pay us to move. Seriously? Like, exhausting. No wonder us realtors eat S's.
Now, the worst part is, if you were to see some of these places that these people are living in, you're like, why would you want to stay there? Some of these places are disgusting. Like, they just need to go, and you need to take bleach and just bleach the whole building. Like, it's sad, but they don't want to go. They just don't want to go. They want to live in squalor. And they're happy with that because they're in New York.
Yeah. So they want
3 months
rent now.
Man, they want like $20,000 in some places.
Wait, I forgot to mention. I came to them and said, dude, you're not paying rent for the month of October. Okay, they're not paying moving forward. Use that money towards your next move. It still wasn't good enough. Still wasn't good
Listen,
enough.
I had this one person that I was working with. She was the actual owner, right?
Okay.
And she was getting like dirt cheap money for the tenant. I don't know why. It's just like the whole situation was bonkers. I got her money on top of people paying for her to move, but because she lived in a house since 1960, she blew it. She blew it. She just wants somebody. She just wants to stay there, and it's just I just don't understand it. Like, people are so afraid of change.
Change is the
and
biggest
the bank
fear,
is gonna. And the thing is,
especially for old people.
Yeah, and the bank is gonna take that house. She cannot afford it,
Yeah.
and so you're going to be homeless one way or another. And I had you with funds and to look for a place to possibly get out of New York. But it just didn't work out. So the whole deal crumbled, and, may God bless her. I don't know. I just wanted to help her. So, I understand, I do understand and I don't understand, because I'm sitting there like, you were given a fresh start and you chose to stay and deal with the stress of getting that notice where they say, oh, you're being evicted.
And then they wonder why the credit is bad.
Well, she's like 70 something. She don't care about no credit. She goes back to when it was like, what, 5 cents to use the phone. She had the rotary phone.
That's why when people ask me, I would like to sell my house, but it's occupied. What do you think? Should we do this or that? So I wanted to tell everyone, it's not something that you can just wake up and decide to get the tenants out. We sold multiple homes that were occupied. Multiple homes that were occupied. Well, listen, it's fine. As long as the tenants are in place, it's good.
Well, listen, you're a mogul, right? You run a few businesses, right? The one thing I love about you, you're like 5 steps ahead. When you own a home, you have to be 5 steps ahead, right? You don't start renovating a project when the roof falls down or whatever. If you're doing that, then you're already you should sell, right? You have to schedule your maintenance. You have to upgrade your home in a timely fashion with the key, because if you do it later, it becomes more expensive, right? So if you catch a problem early on, or you just make changes through the years, you're not going to get hit so hard, right? You'll never have a worn out roof because you have a scheduled maintenance for your roof.
Yeah.
And when you run a business, it's the same way, right? There's new technology, there's new people, there's new ways, there's new laws, so you kind of have no choice but to stay 5 years ahead, to see where the market's going, to see how construction's going, to see how, like I said, technology, like you saw what happened to COVID, you saw what happened after COVID, right? And so we have to plan. So what's the market going to be in 5 years?
Yeah. But what's for sure is you shouldn't involve court when it comes to vacating people from your property, because it's not, number one, it's not going to end well. It's going to take so long. Eventually, you're going to pay them to leave. You're going to find yourself in a position where if you live in the property, it's not going to be fun. And the outcome is going to be the same. So you might as well put yourself in a mindset that, hey, we need to pay them to leave, unfortunately.
See,
okay.
The city's good at changing the laws for the 60 days for them. But for us, who's paying mortgages, and they don't mind if we struggle, right? They're not giving us. And matter of fact, did they really help out? I know people got PPP for businesses, but did they really help out any homeowners during COVID?
Only the forbearance plan.
Because I know they were giving the renters a lot of slack. Yes, a lot of. But the homeowners,
the homeowners, they gave what I just said, forbearance plan. Forbearance plan, you initially called in March of 2020, right? Yeah, March of 2020, you called up the bank. COVID, no COVID, they give you 3 months. And then you call in June, another 3 months. September, another 3 months. And then it was December, another 3 months.
Man, if you're a homeowner, they should forgive you all your speeding tickets.
2 year, all in all, I believe it was the forbearance plan. Definitely the first year. But then what happens? All this accumulates. You come to 30 grand that you need to pay the bank. And if you don't, on the 89th day, the bank tries you one last time. And on the 90th day, they hire a bank attorney to commence foreclosure.
Man, they need to get... If you're a homeowner, they should forgive all our speeding, all our parking tickets. We should get a clean slate.
Yeah, but continue talking to your genie in a bottle.
Yeah, exactly, right? Listen, all right, we're going to take a break, but we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys. So you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
Hi. No, that's right.
That was such a vibe, Nina. That's a great video. Once again, you're a genius.
Very cute. We actually had another video for this listing, but we changed it a little bit because it was like a starter home. So the professional video initially was when I was holding a baby. It was cute, but not that cute. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So I did one of my own, which was this. Not so professional, but it was cute. It actually got I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 people.
Do you have any other properties coming to the market?
So we are actually looking at bigger buildings mainly. We are doing, multifamily homes. We're doing a lot in Long Island. We are doing, I guess, everything all in all, like all different type of properties. We did get a $26 million two building portfolio
Okay.
that we're working on. We didn't advertise it so much yet, but we definitely will put it out there. To co-op building, two co-op buildings.
Okay.
Yeah. At a 6 cap rate. It's going to be a mind-blowing portfolio.
Okay.
And then, like I said, out in Long Island, we got some mansions, some oceanfront, some not. They are big on their Airbnbs. I know New York changed their laws. By the way, I must say that a lot of those Airbnb homeowners are fighting back and actually making it to stay and continue to rent it to Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so apparently there are all these small laws that if you bind them, then you could be, continuing to work it. And then, of course, the Rockaways, Queens out there. Huge up and coming locations. Loving it. Yeah.
So you could reach us, Five Borough Realty. If
Yeah.
you're interested, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
So now, because there is a shortage of deals and there's a shortage of properties, we have to be very diligent in the buying process and who we work with, and be careful of people selling you that there's great deals or something's great. There's, I was speaking to someone, they wanted a house for $500,000. I said, somebody told you that exists in New York?
I mean, co-ops, we certainly have co-ops for,
500,000, but not a house, not a single family home.
I mean,
throughout the tri-state.
We kind of have a mixed use building at $595. That's actually a very good deal if you guys are looking.
Right.
We have residential over commercial for only $595,000. Just hit the market. It was in contract for a very long time. The lady didn't want to let go, and she was in contract, but she wasn't getting a mortgage, so it was exhausting. But thankfully, it's back in the market. So if you're interested, definitely let us know.
But just be careful if something sounds too good to be true. See, the thing about New York, though, because sometimes attorneys are bad, sometimes they're good. Just make sure they're doing their due diligence, you're running title, and make sure that you have the real homeowner that's selling. There's a homeowner, a doctor in Connecticut, back in August. His name was Daniel Kenigsberg, and he had land in Connecticut, but he lived outside of New York. And a friend of the family passed away, so he went to the funeral, and he drove by his lot of land and saw a mansion being built.
What?
Yes, someone forged his deed, pretended to be him, which I don't know how this happened. This is in Connecticut, so I don't know. I haven't done any deals in Connecticut, so I don't know how they do their due diligence out there. But yes, and he drove, and so he went and he sued, and he won in court, and they were supposed to either take the property apart or vacate it.
What?
And they built, and it was like they really built a building, so they must have lost a few $100,000. And it turned out that the person that bought the deal was bamboozled. The person that sold him pretended to be Daniel, and was so convincing, had all the paperwork and everything. And so no one has been arrested. I don't think they caught the imposter as of yet, but it's scary that I feel bad for that homeowner that bought, and allegedly it was from a South African deed thief. That's what they're calling the criminal in this, because they don't have a name. They got to find this person. But he made off with some money. And so we have to be careful, because, it's it's sad that people saved their hard money to get their house to build the mansion of his dreams.
That's insane.
Yeah, just to have it, because he can't trespass. He could try to move it, but you know how we build houses here, so I don't think it was one of those homes that you can move. And so, yeah,
That's insane.
I feel bad for both parties.
Wow.
Right, and then you also have this. Play the next video.
Must watch DJ Envy and
Yes.
Okay, that was real quick.
Let's try that again.
Must watch DJ Envy and Cesar Pena scam people out of $40 million. Yeah, DJ Envy radio host 105.1. Must listen.
Especially something this big.
Stanley Acosta thought it was his chance to give his family a better life. He invested $150,000 in cash in a real estate development deal. The money was supposed to be used to flip this property in Patterson. But Stanley says almost as soon as he signed the deal, something felt wrong.
One of the biggest flags for me was he didn't count the cash. I'm giving you $150,000 in cash.
Wow.
I want to make sure that every dollar is there.
The developer was Cesar Pena, a social media influencer who advertises real estate seminars. Stanley's contract
Rob hardworking people. Shame on you.
$50,000 investment, he'd get $45,000 in interest, a 30% return in just 5 months. But nearly a year later, he hasn't seen any money and says Pena has stopped returning messages.
From a financial standpoint, it's killed me completely. I've had to take out loans to pay off credit card debts.
And Stanley isn't alone. Kane in Your Corner has uncovered over a dozen lawsuits filed by people who say they invested with Pena and never got the money they were promised.
Texting him like almost every other day, like, hey, what's up with the money, Caesar? Like, I need that money, bro. Like, constantly texting him. He keeps delaying.
Our investigation finds in some cases, Pena sold investments in properties real estate records show he never owned or sold years earlier. The lawsuits already total close to $10 million, with more being filed every week.
For the last year and a half or more, it's just been taking money in from people, and there's been no likelihood of people getting their money back.
Some of the lawsuits also mention Rashawn Casey. He's a radio personality.
There goes this crook.
Goes by the name DJ Envy. Casey often appeared with Pena at real estate seminars, but his attorney insists he's a victim too.
And DJ
okay.
also gave $500,000 as an investment, which he has not received back yet.
Pena's attorney declined to be interviewed, but in a letter to the court, he complains about the tactics he says some investors are using. He writes, "My clients need time to first protect their family from threats of death, rape, and physical harm. After that," he writes, "they need to make serious and complex decisions as to how to move forward and what attorney or attorneys to move forward with." As for Stanley,
Bottom line is, guys,
he and his family
DJ
get some of
Envy
their
and
money
Cesar
back.
Pena, biggest scam Ponzi scheme ever.
It would be to
So
Wow.
I disagree with the envy part because everything seems to be more on the DJ Caesar guy. The other guy seems to be the one. And I could see how Envy thought he was partnered with somebody who was just a crook. You know, that sometimes you get into something and you don't realize what you're in until things start falling apart. But I don't have enough proof to see like, oh, the Envy was taking money. It looked like the Pena guy was taking money. Like, unless Envy was taking money from people, then I'll be like, oh, but he's the more famous name, so having him gives more attention. But it seems like the Pena guy he's a dirtbag.
Wow. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that. And you know where I see it most? In homes that are not yet built, pre-construction.
That's right. They can live.
Oh, that was big. They kept showing homes in the videos. So those were just random homes that they were.
No. The video before where the guy lived out. Not the video. Oh, I didn't have a video for this. I mean the Daniel Koenigsberg land
with the mansion. That I understand.
That they built the mansion. It was a vacant lot.
Yeah. That is, but it's not the same person, is it?
What do you mean?
This Danny guy and
No, he has nothing to do with.
No.
That's a whole other scam.
Yeah.
That was a South African con artist that we don't know who he is yet because they haven't caught him.
That's really, really outrageous. Wow. But I've seen it before, unfortunately. I've seen it before. This is why, again, you take an attorney, you take a title company to insure you, and then, unfortunately, whoever really gets the hit the most is the title company because they insure your transaction. And if anything ever goes wrong, they cover you. They're supposed to, cover your transaction, your lawsuits, your backup fire, the appeals, the everything.
Now, I've been to a lot of closings. You have been to way more closings than I've ever been to. Have you ever seen somebody bring cash to a closing? Listen, guys, if you bring in cash to anybody that says they got a deal for you, you better run. Nobody's taking cash. Everything has to be a check or a wire transfer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody's taking that. That was when he said that, I was like, whoa. It was like, I felt bad for him because it's kind of like you could have did a little bit of research before you signed and gave him any kind of money when you bring in we're not selling drugs.
Yeah.
It's real estate, not drugs. You're not bringing uncounted funds, right? Nobody wants. Another thing too, the government is in on every so-called deal. They do not want money going under the table. They want dollars that have been paid tax. You can't do that with all cash.
Right. No, that's definitely not cool. But if you do bring, it has to be on paper, and it's money that's being put out there. But cash is definitely something that I've seen, and it was on paper and everything was legit. It just unfortunately there was a big deal in Brooklyn where the buyers brought money. It wasn't my transaction, and the rumor spread around real fast with the attorneys that were involved that $270,000 cash was fake.
Mm-hmm.
It was fake. So the transaction was completed, everything was done, and then came out to be that it was fake, and it was a big story.
It's funny, when I used to hang out with some people from Harlem when I went to school, and they came up to my college and they flooded. I went to SUNY Oswego, and they flooded Syracuse Oswego with fake.
What?
Yes, they were balling out with fake money.
Whoa.
And that's why now when you go, they got these markers, they got everywhere, because that was that might have been like around 2000.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, people could have fake money. You have to be really, that's why you don't take money, right? Yeah. You take a wire transfer or certified check.
Yeah.
COD, cash on delivery, is a certified check. It's not cash.
Yeah.
But it's as good as cash because the check.
Some restaurants in the city don't even accept cash anymore.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah. Only cash, only check, not even checks, credit, Zelle, Venmo.
Yeah, Venmo. They take all. I learned that the hard way. I was like, wow, I had cash. I was trying to buy coffee. They was like, nope. So I had to put my phone up and ding.
Yeah. Pretty new. 2023. But anyways, let's get back to home ownership and those banks.
Yeah.
We have a lot of mixed-use buildings in the market, and people are really starting to show interest like never before.
Because there's not a lot of properties.
You're right. There aren't a lot of properties, and those mixed-use buildings not only bring you income, because normally there are at least more than one or two, either residential or commercial, but also you can run your own business. Instead of being someplace else, you can do your own and be right next to your home. So in this type of scenarios, you need to put at least 20% down, if not 30 to 35.
That's what I was going to say. It's a little more complicated buying a mixed use. Am I correct?
Yes, but today I was speaking with a buyer, and we got our banker on, and he's putting down 30%. Okay, he's putting 30% down. You have to hear this. He got such a good deal. I was in shock.
So they're in contract?
We're getting there now. So he's putting 30% down. So on an $812,000, he's paying $8,700.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's not so bad.
Not so bad at all.
It used to be, yes, much less because the interest rates were low. We're talking now about that investment property at high nines, but that's strictly investment property. No FHA, no type of, anything. You could definitely can do better if you don't own any other homes.
Right.
But point is, it's definitely doable. It's a building that could bring you at least $12,000 a month. So imagine you're running your business and you live there, 11,600 at minimum, 14,200 at maximum. A great deal. So we're moving ahead with it, but we have many more mixed uses. It's just that you have to understand the deal if you are buying a mixed use building. And if you understand it and you can make the use of it at most and nonetheless put your business in it, it's just phenomenal.
And mixed use buildings can make so much money.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to make money commercially when you're dealing with the commercial aspect of the mixed use, because what you have like long-term lease, you have like
you can have 2 and 2 is an option to extend. You can have 5 years and 5 years with an option to extend. You can have 25 years with another 25-year option to extend. It all depends on the type of tenant that you're looking for yourself and the size. So if you have a big size of retail space, then those bigger companies would come. And if those bigger companies come, they sign for a very long time.
And now see the problem is most people that want to invest, that want to make money in real estate, they just want something so fast and so quick. And a lot of people watch those flipping shows where they flip a house and walk away with all kinds of money. But being an investor is hard work. It's not, if you do it the right way, you're going to have to negotiate different types of deals and you're going to make money, but it's just not instant. Am I correct? It's not just automatic.
It's not automatic, but in some point, it depends on the deal that you buy. Some deals you buy and you make money right away. Regardless of whether you buy it ongoing income or it's going to make an income, you always have to take a vacancy rate of at least 3%. 3% the least, 5% the most. But before you buy, do your due diligence. You make sure that you have good tenants, or if you don't have good tenants, that the building is going to operate to tenantship right away. But if you need some work to get done, take that into consideration as well. If you're going to rent it out with the work that's needed to get done, you also want to make a deal where the tenant is going to do their own work.
Yes.
Also,
sometimes having a partner or having somebody that can be your yin to your yang, it might save you from getting ripped off.
Yeah,
right?
But you know what they say.
What they say. What they say.
If a partner was a good thing, God would have one too. And we only have one God.
But all I know is when you get ripped off with no partner and it's all on you, you're like that dude in the video, 150,000, and you're taking loans and you're way behind the 8 ball. Sometimes it'll save you, because it's great if the deal works out. You make all the money.
Yeah.
But what happens when it doesn't? What happens when you, instead of splitting with somebody else, the fees or whatever's going to cost you to deal with tenants, whatever, it's all on you.
Yeah. Also, with the whole being with someone, if you get in trouble or if not, listen, you go into a deal, you never know what it would turn out to be, whether you're alone or with a partner.
Right.
And then going back to the fraudulent information, whether you buy it from a real person or not, you want to make sure that your paperwork are legit. So tomorrow you run back to your title company and your insurance, you're covered. That's why when we go and list homes,
right,
98% that we make people sign those listing agreements, the fair housing certification, the the New York disclosure form, those are all paperwork that we sign to show the internet, the
Mhm.
MLS, Realtor, all these places that we have the rightful owner.
Also, you have to do your research. Like, period. You can't just trust any. There was a guy that bought this lot of land that he thought was so great. And he thought he was buying this house in Florida, but but he was buying in front of the house, and it was useless. So he wasted like $30,000 for land that you can't do nothing, and then you got to pay taxes on it. And I was like, "Yo, I'm not paying taxes on that. You're gonna have to just take that back." But yeah, but he didn't do the research. He didn't. When you're buying land, you have to do a survey. You have to do a lot before you purchase, so that you make sure that one, let's say you're buying land, but the city zones it. What kind of zone you can't build on? Like some kind of marsh or swamp. Let's say they zone it uninhabitable.
Honestly, the only thing that I'm not going to say the only thing. I'm sure there are a lot of things I don't know, but one of the only things I don't know is zoning analysis. I don't know much about it.
Well, all I'm saying is that you have to, when you're buying land, you have to make sure it's zoned for building.
Yeah, because even if it is, you still need to speak to an architect.
Yes.
Sometimes you can build more if you put in a facility.
Right.
You can build less if you're 1 or 2 feet shorter. You need your survey.
And this is not just New York. This is just statewide. You have to make sure that when you're buying a lot of land, that you can build on it, right? Because what if the land has no there's the water going to it, there's no resources, you can't build.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to do your research, not just with the laws, not just with the rights, but also, hey, how are you going to get water when you build your property there?
Yeah, and sometimes the city makes a deal with you and says, look, if you're going to wait for a year and a half or a year and 9 months or 2 years or 3 years, we're going to sign you that if you wait now, you can build more in the future.
Yeah,
because the zoning will change. I know a deal like that in the Rockaways.
Okay.
They made the people run a parking lot right now on a beach block just so that they could wait and build on a better zoning, a much bigger, better building. Like instead of like a 22 unit, I'm talking 70.
70 units?
Something crazy. By the way, I have the deal. So reach out if you want to invest in something really, really, really,
Guys,
really, really, really nice.
Amazing. If you want something, she'll get it for you.
No, for real. But in the Rockaways, I have a lot of opportunities. Call up, reach out.
Yes, we got you.
Let me know. I got you.
There may be a shortage everywhere else, but not at 5 Borough Realty.
Yeah, so there's so much to do. I really want to share our listings, to work our stuff, to make money together, and most of all, to make money for you. If you buy, you need to be introduced to the right people, from architects to the building department. I even went to the building department night. Every Tuesday night in New York City, I think in every borough on that same day, Tuesday night, 5 to 7, they have what they call a landlord night. Okay. You can walk in and ask your questions, and whatever it is that you are wondering about your property or whatever, any other property that you may think of buying or something that you purchased and you have questions during the week and business hours, it's almost impossible to get someone or some type of an advice. That's the time you can walk in and get all your answers. And I actually went there and got a lot of my answers.
All right.
Yeah, very interesting. Very helpful.
She doesn't sleep. Day, night, don't sleep.
Who needs to sleep?
Exactly.
We don't need to sleep.
Just don't try to find her in the morning. Anyway, so we had a great show. Thank you for tuning in. Any words of wisdoms for the people before we go?
Yes. Go grab those listings. There's so much to do, and there's so many people wanting to move. Don't move out of New York. New York is so beautiful. Sorry, go ahead.
And if you're going to sell, now is the time to sell. There's a shortage. Will get you the offers of your dreams.
Yeah. Don't be going to no shoveling soon. Okay. Just sell and you're not gonna have to shovel. I wish it would rhyme. Just saying. But yeah, before it gets cold, people move. Before people start school, they move. Before people have a substantial amount of money coming in or out, they move. A big scenario in their lifetime, they move. So you never know when. It's always the right time to sell for anybody in this world. So always keep your eyes out. Keep in touch with people. Reach out to older people that you were in touch with from before. It's never enough. And you never know where it's going to come from.
Never.
Always have business cards on you too.
Exactly. So listen, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Yes.
Peace and good night.
For sure. Bye.
Bye.